The magic. It all lives here on I-95 Christmas.
Wagwani friends from Tobago, Christmas they reaching Fat Meadow, with a box piece and a quattro, a violin and a banjo. They say they always had a plan to give me family a parang. They wake up my mommy right away when they ring out with this loud way. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Hey, like you are here the neighbor cock crowing, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh. Kitchen, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wait up. I hope you know it's white oak a drinking, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, get up. Mommy put coffee on the fire, encouraging them to stay a little longer. Ham and bread on the table. Why don't she pull out a bottle? The music went in my neighbor head. He pulled the old sax below his bed. Come across and join the bacchanal. They wouldn't stop singing at all. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Hey, you were here, the neighbor cock crowing, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wake up. I hope you know it's white oak we taking, oh girl. Yeah. Pass the bottle. Cross me. Pass the white oak, the white. Yeah. People keep moving to and fro. They never hear parang some sweet so. And them boys from Tobago getting on with the land too. I don't know where the noon come from. He fall in without any question. Pick up the pan, we boil the ham. And one time he start to jam. My Jeffrey, oh, get up. Well, you were here, the neighbor cock crowing, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, I hope you know it's white oak a drinking, oh girl. Madam Jeffrey, oh, wake up. Time to put some smoke in your kitchen, oh girl.
on your list? Voices.
Oh, talent on the mountain.
Tell somebody
Oh, talent on the mountain.
what you're saying.
Money, 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 money.
I have a dream that one day the poor would be able to enjoy Christmas like the rich have a belly Christmas. Listen, when you
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively, on I-95.5 FM.
And stream.
On a grand rising to you, Trinidad and Tobago, welcome to Ion Dependency. If you're joining us today, expecting an easy conversation, this may not be that kind of show for you.
It may not. Christmas is often painted as a time of joy and togetherness and celebration. But for many families, it's also a reminder of what they're carrying. Addiction in the home, unresolved pain or trauma, and decisions that went wrong long before the holidays arrived.
Today's program is about facing some hard truths. We'll be sharing audio and video from members of the public responding to a case that shocked many, touching on antisocial behavior, family denial, and the uncomfortable idea of what it means to love an addict, alcoholic, without boundaries.
We will also revisit reporting around Nick Reiner on that case and examine some themes like loving an addict to death and what happens when families often unknowingly allow addiction to take control.
Also later on in the program, we'll show images of new psychoactive substances currently available here in Trinidad and Tobago. Substances many people don't recognize, underestimate, or don't realize are already in circulation.
And this is not about blame. It is about awareness. It's about accountability and understanding how quickly things can spiral when addiction is left unchecked.
This never gets old, Trinidad and Tobago. And right away, our support goes out to those families out there this morning who are struggling. We know you exist. We know you're there. This week again, we got 4 calls. Start you off with this. A 21-year-old young lady turned herself in to strangers, literally because her family is not available, and confessed that she's been hooked on crystal meth and Molly for a very long time. Everything you can think about has been done to her. She's not ready to walk off the street. She's not ready to get off the street. And so, what's most significant for us is every person is under the age of 25. 9 out of 10 times. And we're not making this up. Lord knows we have the recordings, we have the statements, we have them. So, and this is for every household in Trinidad and Tobago. Everyone, regardless of your race, nationality, your ethnicity, regardless, it affects everyone. And the story about this young man and his parents who he killed is a very touching one, but we'll go into detail this morning. Some commentators commenting on it, and we will give our take because I've seen it. We've dealt with it right here in Trinidad and Tobago. You all will be very surprised. So on behalf of those families right now who's struggling with an addict or two in their home, we reach out to you this morning. Maybe you might find an answer somewhere in what you will hear. We'll do that in the first hour. In the second hour, we take all of your calls. It's a long time we haven't done that. And to our overseas listeners and viewers, you can drop a Merry Christmas in the comments for us either on Facebook or YouTube. Please drop a Merry Christmas to your people down here. We know you're all over listening to our Independency. Call all the names now. But you know yourselves. You can identify yourself. Just drop a Merry Christmas to Trinidad and Tobago, and we'll give you, our audience, the opportunity to do so. In the meantime, think of what you listened to this year, what touched you, what reached you, what made you. My favorite program this year was Caroline, the No-Teeth Queen, from prison. That was my favorite. She had me on the floor, but we had some more, very serious issues like Anessa.
Daniel is mine.
Hmm?
Daniel, I think, is mine.
Daniel, right?
Daniel's
We had
mine.
Anessa, the blind lady who been through so much and still going through.
Yeah.
And you name it. We've had next week, please God, we'll get deeper into what the top 10 could be. And we have some breaking news and all of that. But we'll deal with that next Sunday, God's willing. All right, so before we go to a break, Natasha, sorry, I keep forgetting this. And there are people who support us over the years relentlessly. And they're not here with us any longer. Some of those who, like Judy Benjamin from Palo Seco,
Yes.
long that lady passed, and she was one, always kept in touch with us, always. She would call in from time to time. And, so belated as it is, we say condolences to their family. And she was an avid supporter and listener to I-95. Also, the Orongda family.
Yes, they lost their matriarch.
Yes. So Mama is no more. And so Shirlene and all of you, we hope you're all holding up, staying strong. It's their first Christmas. I don't know why old people like to do that. Christmas time, they like to remember. It's always around Christmas. My mom left at Christmas too.
Yeah.
And that was their favorite time. For some reason, they always leave us around Christmas time. So all along there, Mama left us, also Miss Daphne Phillip.
Yes.
And you discovered certain things about Miss Phillip, about her ascension and how she was the first person to act, the first black woman to act as Prime Minister in Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay.
Yeah, and so many accolades, under her name, but she, to her family too, and also Freddie Ferrer,
Yes, of
he
course.
passed away as well.
Yes.
So all you families who spending Christmas without your loved one, we
Commiserate with you and condolences again.
yes, and whoever else we forgot, we say, stay strong. Christmas without the matriarch or patriarch sometimes feels weird, and so just deal with it. I dealt with that, and it's a sort of.
It's a common trend. Well, I mean, today is the winter solstice, as some people may know. For those who observe it, it is a time of, renewal and reconnection. So maybe that's why. I mean, this is a time where we lose those that we.
Yes.
that we
So,
love.
so folks, thank you very much once again for joining us this morning, as you usually do. We really, again, around this time, people who are recovering from any type of drug,
Yes.
especially alcohol, is a testing time for them. From now to Carnival, it's a long stretch, and even in preparation home, somebody else, most of the time you have a bottle somewhere, music playing, and
Yes.
ever so often, who painting, come down, take a drink, and cleaning the yard to doing
And
this.
if people coming over to the house, you will serve them something to
Right.
drink, right?
Yes.
So
Party
partake in that.
don't go on here without alcohol in most
Yes,
places, most households,
unfortunately.
right? So, hope you can learn something this morning from what we will hear and what we will show you. Those psychoactive drugs, it's in your home. Sometimes you wouldn't even recognize it. So let's go to a break, and when we return, we start the show.
My story is Alta story.
Before Alta, I was so nervous, never understand a lot of things. Alta is a nice place to learn. Like if any student in this program made a mistake, or the other students will turn and help out that student.
I know Alta for a long while, I'm not lying. I know Alta jump out, I call me challenging, it was hard, but I fight still. I started to feel nice, I started to feel sweet about myself.
I really know writing skills was terrible. In within a year time, I do that level 1, I completed. What? That was like a dream.
The teachers are very wonderful, which is one thing I love. The next thing I love about it, it's free. You can't study what persons may think, the perception of person. So you have to focus on what you want.
I am enjoying every moment in Alta.
Today now, I can read, I can write, I can spell, get into Alta. So you can write your story.
708-1990.
The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Hotline 800 PRSN. It's a toll-free number that anyone can call to report any misconduct or illegal activities within the prison service. All calls are strictly confidential and would remain anonymous. Simply dial 800 PRSN. That's 800-7776. Leave a message and our team of highly trained professionals will treat with your report in a timely manner, promoting security, integrity, public safety, and confidentiality.
Join us this Sunday for episode 51 of Eye on Dependency, reality radio at its best.
Christmas is meant to be a happy time, but for many families, it's also a painful one when living with addiction in the home. Rob and Michelle Reiner, a well-known Hollywood couple, lost their lives at the hands of their drug-dependent son.
It's no secret that Nick has struggled with addiction, and behind closed doors, his parents, like many others, struggled to help their son navigate it.
This Sunday on Eye on Dependency, we pause to remember those who are still struggling and those left behind. We also want to hear from you. Which guest, interview, or moment in 2025 shocked you, moved you, or opened your eyes? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of Homeland Security brings you Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency. It's episode 51. We're almost at the end of the year 2025, and today we are tackling a subject that not many people want to talk about often, and this is the subject of addiction in families and how families treat with a loved one, a member of that family who is suffering from a substance use disorder and or a mental illness that, affects your lives.
So this morning, let's go. This has been a discussion around the world, and it's our turn to give our local take of it. You heard the story of a young man who eventually ended the lives of both his mother and father. Think about that for a moment. That a son to reach to that position, that he would do that to his parents, both of them, is scary, but it's a reality. And this side of the fence here is someone who has all the means, has money coming out of everywhere. So it's harder for someone in that position, especially if they're in denial and arrogant with it, to recover. We have families like that here because they are not afraid. This young man has been to rehab 17 times.
From the age of 15.
From the age of 15. Let that sink in for a moment. 17. There are parents in this country who cannot even afford one or even two. 17, in some cases at $50,000 a month. Why? Because they had the money. But they too had an issue. So let's go to that first CNN report from Nick Reiner, on Nick Reiner, and hear what they have to say
Yeah, this is just so that you have a factual interpretation of the events that took place. And again, from CNN reporting a couple days after the events.
Who is Nick Reiner, the son of famed director Rob Reiner and producer Michelle Singer Reiner? He was arrested by LAPD and believed by investigators to be, quote, responsible for the death of his parents. So how'd we get here? Well, it's no secret that Nick has struggled with addiction, and behind closed doors, his parents, like many others, struggled to help their son navigate it. The tension was even the subject of a 2015 movie that Nick co-wrote called Being Charlie.
You have a disease, Charlie. We all do. All right? And acceptance is the first step towards controlling...
You know, you're right. I do have a disease. It's this place. Okay? It makes you feel like a leper, and then when you get out, everyone's expecting you to up again, so you start using...
During the film's promotion, Nick appeared alongside his father in an interview and discussed his past drug use.
Well, I think I'm lucky in the sense that I have parents that care about me, and because of that, when I would go out and do, you know, things like drugs and stuff like that, I'd feel a tremendous amount of guilt because I'd think, oh, they're thinking about me right now. They want me to do good. And most people don't have, not most people, but some people don't have parents that are, you know, have any interest in that.
He also talked about his struggles growing up in the Reiner household.
We didn't bond a lot as a kid. Like, he really liked baseball. I like basketball, and he could watch that with my brother, but baseball. But I just, when I saw him do that, and it was something that I'm interested in, I was like, wow, like, he really knows a lot, and, like, it made me feel closer to him and be like, yeah.
The night before his parents' death, Rob, Michelle, and Nick attended a holiday party at comedian Conan O'Brien's house. Nick and his father were seen having an argument, according to a source familiar with the incident. It's unclear what connection, if any, the argument may have had to those killings. Authorities have not elaborated on how the victims died or why investigators suspect that their son was responsible. Nick Reiner is currently being held in custody without bail. CNN is working to determine his legal representation and has reached out to a family spokesperson for more information.
Yes, so that was an early report from CNN on Nick Reiner, who has now been charged with murder of his parents. He did not appear in court, but I think there's a lot of more information coming out now about him and about his relationship with his parents and the role that addiction played in that relationship. People are talking about that film that his father, Rob Reiner, who's a very famous director, that he did based on their relationship, their interaction. The film is about a son who has a drug use disorder and is going through treatment with his father, and it is, I guess, a telling reminder of the fact that, you know, parents usually, as Nick himself said, he has parents who love him, and parents will do whatever they can to save their children, quote unquote, from death. But unfortunately, they, in this instance, were the ones who ended up deceased.
Attention and scrutiny to those of you parents out there who understand what that means or don't understand what that means. If you have a son or daughter who came out of rehab in the last, let's say, month, 2, 3 months, even a year, husband, wife, the one thing we as addicts cannot stand if we're not ready is scrutiny. We cannot stand it. We always feel watched, attacked, and mistrusted. And what we don't understand, or what in that, when we're in that state, what we don't understand is that we've put you through so much, and nothing that we said during that time turned out to be true. So you've been stung so many times. But yet, when we come out of the rehab and we say that, okay, I'm going out, I'm going online with some friends, and you start to ask questions, so where you going? With who? What time you're going to be back? And all these things. And I start to get agitated. It means I'm not ready for this journey. It's as simple as that. I must be so submissive so that even if I leave rehab and I come out, I get a job, I must not collect my salary. I have to surrender to that. If your addict is not surrendering to that, they're not ready.
For
Okay?
sobriety?
That it must surrender to it. So whatever it is, my employer must know now, well, my account, the money, my salary now will go to this account instead. And if it's a payment over the counter in cash, somebody else must pick up that because money is a trigger for us. So no one who's on the true road to recovery should argue with being scrutinized. Anytime argument comes up because of that, that's a red flag. And you have to stay alert. Right? So because he mentioned, that scrutiny that you get from the parents and from the public, and there are people up to today who meet me and look me in the eye, you all right? You sure? And it's irritating. But
yes, but
it's people who
that's par for the course.
It's par for the course. So understand that you're doing nothing wrong. Don't blame yourself, and you find you're coming on them too hard, and you could relax a bit.
Yeah.
And no, they must not be locked up in their room for an extraordinary length of time without you checking on them. The whole aesthetic of the room will change and stay changed, clean, than when it was nasty and stink before, right? Things strewn all over the place. Anyone in proper recovery now will insist on having a clean room and a clean environment because that's what the rehab teaches you, to have that. So, and it must, like when your son or daughter goes to the military and they train and become a soldier, a police officer, when they come back home as recruits especially, you don't even have to tell them to, you don't even have to tell them to make their bed or wash their wares. Well, it's the same thing you should actually see that drastic transformation in the person, right? So just bear that in mind. Let's go to video B.
Video B now, this creator is talking about the kind of personality that an addict have, the kind of behaviors that they exhibit that really are very selfish in nature. And his conclusion is that the addict in this case won. He got what he wanted, which is kind of emblematic of how a person who's actively using behaves with other people who are trying, as you saying, who are putting you under scrutiny and asking you the right questions. A person in active use does not appreciate that. And this is how this creator has summarized this very horrific situation.
Let's go to that.
I keep thinking about something Rob Reiner had said back in 2015 about his son's addiction. Quote, "We were desperate, and because the people had diplomas on their wall, we listened to them when we should have been listening to our son." That's what manipulation looks like. From an addict to those trying to help them. And the addict won. Because last Sunday, that son that he thought he should have been listening to all that time killed them in their bedroom at home. Mental health professionals flagged Nick Reiner as dangerous. They documented the behavior, they warned his parents, and Nick convinced his father that they were the problem. That the experts were wrong, that the programs didn't work, and mom and dad had failed him by not trusting him over the people trying to save his life, and it worked. This is a horrible, horrible story, but for those of us still breathing the air, let it be a cautionary tale. Nick got his father to direct a movie called Being Charlie, where the father is the villain for sending the kid to treatment. Rob called it the most personal thing I've ever done, and I'm sure it was. He expressed regret for trusting the professionals. His addict son rewrote his story, made him apologize on film permanently for trying to help him. I'm not telling you this to demonize addicts and mental illness. There's enough there by itself. I'm telling you because this dynamic is playing out in homes across America right now. The addict who turns you against anyone telling the truth. who makes you feel guilty for holding boundaries, who convinces you that the professionals are the enemy. If that's your life, hear me. You are not the villain for listening to experts. You are not cruel for protecting yourself. Sometimes love without boundaries isn't love. It is a death sentence.
Yep, that is very, very important. Love without boundaries can be a death sentence, and this is what we have been saying to all of the relatives of persons who are in active use. You cannot love an addict out of an addiction. You have to set boundaries. You have to hold them accountable. Nick convinced his father that the professionals at the treatment facilities he went to, they were the ones who were wrong about him. And Rob Reiner so wanted to believe that his love for his son, their family's love for their son, was more powerful than what these professionals in addiction treatment were saying he needed to do. And the creator is right. The addict, he won in the end. He got what he wanted.
Yeah, and that's parents in denial.
Yes.
And tough, but parents in this country, and for good reason, they don't like using tough love, especially mothers. But tough love is something that some parents apply. Sometimes it works. It's like you have to take the chance. Otherwise, you will be sick as well. We don't care. We will see you cry every single day, and it may bother. I saw my mother cry every day. It bothered me, but the substance that I had in me, or the beast that I put into me, was stronger than that love for my mother. So it didn't matter. So parents who cannot apply and accept and apply tough love, you prepare for the long haul. And because you will always hear, how many of you ever experienced it? You pull aside a relative or co-workers try talking to someone, and what their response will be is, oh, you have the problem, not me. I have a problem, or you think I have a problem when I come into work, right? But, and you will get that. Yep. So please be aware and understand, is either you apply it or you don't. If you don't, well, prepare yourself for the long haul, because we are not nice people. Once we are in that zone, we will drain every last living dime and
manipulate you too into believing that this is what is good for me, and whatever your needs are, whatever I'm doing to you, or whatever you think I'm doing to you, is, that is just how I am, and you have to accept that. If you love me, you will let me do these things.
And there are some children like that, My father rich, so he could take care of me. I don't have to work.
Correct.
And they will skive and skiffle whole day and just come up with excuses for money and always demanding money. And you want Rob Reiner's son had a credit card, even though he was in recovery. That's madness. And I'm sure that credit card he had was a black or platinum one, or the one color that we don't see regularly. And craziness. And to those of you out there right now, and thank you again, you're joining us for listening. You're listening to Independency. Those of you on Facebook and YouTube, remember to drop a Merry Christmas to your people in Trinidad. Those of you listening to us overseas, just identify where you're looking at us from and drop a Merry Christmas.
But what do you think accounts for the lack of trust that Rob Reiner had in the professionals that he was attempting to help treat his son? Why would he prefer to listen to his son, who is the drug user, rather than the professionals who understand what addiction is?
Because he was wealthy. That's why. Because he was wealthy. And because they could afford to start a treatment, pay $70,000, and Daddy, this man don't know what he's talking about, Okay, son, let's go home. Because he has the money. Now, a parent who had to, after
scrimp and save and
after I finished with my mother, and she probably just have one trip remaining in money, or might get help from family to put me in a rehab, right? And I better do that, because after a month, and I show up home and with the rehab, I just tried to contact my mother, or they didn't, and I just jump the fence and show up home. After you just fork over money.
At $30,000.
Yes, to rehabilitate me. So it's because that is part of it, because he had money, and he too wanted maybe to do right by feel he was doing right by him by listening to him, and didn't want to hurt him, and that's just because they were damn wealthy, and he felt, well, okay, if you're not ready yet, let's try again.
Else.
Right. And so that's part of it. To those of you to try not to, you see, now around this Christmas time, we make several trips to the hardware, right, and grocery and so on.
Yes.
If you send that person in recovery to the hardware, if you happen to do it, if you don't have a choice, make sure and get a receipt and change. Excuse me. Make sure and get a receipt and change. Demand it. And they better know not to come back home without the receipt and change. Please. And some people do it to test the person, but just make sure that they come back home with exactly, because that's how we build up for future use. And I can't wait for the tell me, well, go in the shop and go here and go there and $5, $2, $10, put that aside. Once they're not for the change, I'm not giving it back.
But this also raises the question for me, Garth, in terms of how trusting are families in the treatment process. How much do they really understand about it? What is required of not only the individual who is getting the treatment, but of the families that they belong to? How much do they understand about this process and what they need to do as well to assist?
Well, first of all,
their role in the process.
Right, but their role is a supporting role they have to play, but they have to flip sides just as the addict will have to do. Meaning that, first of all, when an addict finally decides to go to rehab, breeze starts to blow in the place again, because the house now is not as tense as before.
Yeah,
that's one. So for the first time in maybe 10 years, 15 years, in some cases, a mother can lie down sleep. A family can sleep without knowing if they forget their handbag outside, or if the son or daughter on the street are going to get killed, or when the phone rings, some bad news. That's the first thing. But then now, and that comfort will last as long as the person stay in rehab. And they will go, visit, make sure the person all right, call, get feedback and so on. And they will start to relax, but they will still be tense and worried, because on the next side of the brain now, they're expecting that they don't know what to expect when the person is released from rehab. They don't know what to expect. The first time I was released from rehab, my mother she let her guard down, I relapsed. Went back the second time to New Life Ministries and got kicked out. When I reached home, before my mother even reached inside properly, I turned around and head for Monrepo. And she decided to follow me. Now, you know my mother's size. And she was hit by a car. Somebody reversing right on St. Simon Terrace just before the gas station. As she going up with a lady, that was just, I don't know, as she's walking in front of the gate, lady reversing, but it was dark. And she hit my mom. What my mom was doing there, she was running behind me. So the first part, yes, they relax and in rehab and all that, but from the time I come out, it's more stress. So the stress level goes back up again. It varies from family to family. The only way a family can relax, like I said, is when the addict leaves rehab and shows day to day, not even day, hour by hour, that they're ready for this new journey. And that way, the family will start to relax once a pattern develops of a timing, person waking up a certain time. Responsible behavior. Change behavior. Change the way they respond to things. It's a whole new chapter that has to be opened for a family to start on the road to recovery with their recovering person.
Yes, and they have to know how to engage with them. Are they usually part of any family group meetings while the person is in treatment? The family will be required to go to some sessions as well. No?
Yes, well, let's go to the other clip. Families in denial.
Yes.
Let's deal with that.
This creator is talking about the many signals that this family was in fact in denial about the addiction and what that can look like and what it can lead to. In this case, it was a horrible ending. But yeah, it's something that we really need to be aware of, the addictive personality and how manipulative and destructive it can be in a family setting.
Say to James Howard and Robert Ward and all, anybody listening to us this morning, anything I'm forgetting, please feel free, Harold, anybody, feel free to WhatsApp me. You all have my number, and add to this conversation so we can guide people this time around, especially with the drugs that we still have to show you. Let's go to this quickly before we run out of time. Let's go. Family.
Crazy things in the news this week. I want to talk about the Nick Reiner, and of course Rob's wife. Not the death of it. It's tragic. Everybody loves his movies. Big fan. I want to talk about the addiction side, okay? Because Nick, this accused son of double homicide, is an addict, and apparently has been an addict since I think his first rehab trip was at 15. And over the span of his life, he's been to 17 addiction treatment centers. I can probably guess we're talking $50,000, $60,000 a month type places. Okay, so which really is insignificant, but it can actually hurt too because you get a lot of fluff. Let me just put it that way. But the most important part about that is most of these celebrity type rehabs are only 30 days long. 30 days is not enough time. But I want to talk about the family perspective here. He was quoted in an interview talking about his son Nick, where they had finally given up on treatment after 17 times because they kept hearing these professionals, as he put it, people with diplomas on their walls, telling them that Nick was a liar and a manipulator, and I'm sure they presented that in a very diplomatic way, because those are the two primary characteristics of addicts, right? But they were offended by that. Well, what's happening here? Oh, and then they said, well, Nick's the addict. It's his struggle. He needs to tell us what he needs, right? So whatever he tells us, that's what we're going to do. So what you have here is you have a family in denial like no other. And you have an addict that's literally dictating this quote-unquote recovery process, which there is none. We say this all the time. I want you to think about this, especially families. If the addict had the capacity to solve this problem, they would have done it already. If the family dynamic had the capacity to solve the addiction problem, you would have done it already. That's not an attack. That's not an offense. Families can't go out and solve cancer either. When you stop looking at addiction as a moral behavior or moral issue, a bad behavioral issue, even though that is a primary characteristic, and you start treating it as a disease with an immense amount of literature, we know exactly what's going on in the brain now, which means we have a solution. But families and addicts, if you really want a different life, you've got to live in the solution. The addict doesn't have the solution. The addict needs to learn the solution, and that takes time. Remember, it takes 12 to 18 months for the brain to heal. So if you're just going in and out of these little 30-day programs, and then getting back to work, getting a new car, getting a new girlfriend, new boyfriend, and then just repeating that cycle, you're not going to change. That's not the professional's fault, right? That's like if you had cancer and they said, okay, it's going to take about 6 months. We've got all these treatments lined up. We want you to go to this support group. You're going to meet with these 3 different professionals. We would do it, right? We'd be like, well, yeah, because I don't want to die. But when it comes to addiction, See, we have a different perspective on addiction because the primary characteristic of addiction is such bad behavior. So we, even though we may say, oh no, I understand it's addiction, we still think of it as a moral issue. And if they would just get their head out of their butt, then we could all get back to normal. If we could just take away all their stress, right, as families, if we could just pay all their bills, set them up in a new apartment, get their car fixed, help them get a new car, surely then they'll be able to fly. With a rational brain, that would work. We're not dealing with a rational brain. We're dealing with a disease addict brain. And so you got to start listening to the professionals. Okay, I'm so sorry what's happened to Rob and his wife. That's such a shame. And I'm sorry what's happened to Nick because he didn't have to get this far. He didn't have to progress this far. But it is a good example of what it looks like when families are in denial. They're going to solve this problem on their own. You wouldn't treat your family member who had cancer, right? If you had a family member who had leukemia, you wouldn't all get together and go, okay, well, you're the patient. Tell us what you need. No, we'd go, well, shoot, we need some expertise, and then we would follow it. There's an old saying, and I'll leave you with this. It's a fool who pays for advice and doesn't take it. This is Dr. Miles at Justin's Lighthouse, and I'm signing out.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. You're listening to Independence if you're just joining us. And again, those of you who can and interested and would like to see it, the proof is in the pudding. We have a lineup of some of the drugs that your children are exposed to today. The war has gotten brutal, folks, out there. It has. I am not making this up, and it's up to you. You cannot say that at least I didn't try. This was the reason for independency in the first place. And it takes a lot. Me, as a person in recovery right now, there are a number of things that happened to me on this journey here to 24 years of our independency that could have made me relapse many times. But then I get to realize that even society and people who should be interested in knowing this didn't care. And I am living proof of that. And I know it's when I pass away, then people will say, yes, we now understand what God Sinclair was trying to say. I didn't choose this, folks. I didn't want this. This happened, and I decided I was not going to let it happen to others. But since we started to know, it has gotten deadly. But with it's gotten deadlier, let me just say. So we show you that, and then we take your calls in the next hour. But Natasha, just to go back to this clip here.
Yeah.
Liar, manipulator.
And the parents didn't want to believe it. You prefer to listen to the child who clearly has a problem. As he said, if he could have fixed it himself, if the family dynamic could have fixed the problem, it would have been fixed already. Clearly you need help. Why would you not listen to the professionals who understand, know, and have done this with countless people in the past and can recognize the patterns that your son is displaying? Why wouldn't you listen to them?
I've always said to people, we on the other hand happy when our parents are in denial.
Absolutely.
But my mother wasn't in denial, and she got a good fight. She got a good fight. The thing is, folks, there's that 12-step program has to be applied to as well. And whether we like it or not, whether we try to, first one, we are admitting that we're powerless.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Once your addict doesn't admit that there's a problem and they need help and sincerely mean that, you're wasting your time. Believe me, because no rehab facility would take them if they're not already admitting and then ready to surrender. I think it's step 2 that says, come to believe that only a power greater than myself can help me. Something like that. Not quoting verbatim, but that is what, right? And so that, which means I have to surrender.
Yeah.
If I am not surrendering, forget that. And if I did not make the decision and have the will to turn my whole life over into the care of the professionals and all of that, and you support that, then you're in for a long ride, long haul. So,
yeah, because as the doctor said, trying to make sure that they have everything they need physically. They have a car and they have somewhere to live and they have money in their bank account. That is not helping them. It is actually enabling them. That is what they call enabling, right?
Yes.
Because you're not addressing the root cause of why this person is not only using this drug, but the use of this drug is causing certain behavior and leading to certain actions. That is what we need to address. Making sure that you have money in your pocket is not the solution.
And keeping me comfortable and quiet and no, I must not. There are addicts who are in charge still. I'm not supposed to be in charge at all, at least for a year. That is what good, proper recovery is. And understand that the longer they stay in recovery and they relapse, it will be worse than the last time. So understand that. If I decide with all the pressures that I've experienced and not stay strong and keep faith after 33+ years, if I wake up this giant inside of me, that is the end of me. Because I have to feed him now for the 33 years that he was sleeping. We never get rid of the giant. We put them to sleep. But once we wake him up, it's all over.
Yep.
All right? Remember that. Please, folks, remember that. Let's go to this quickly.
Yes,
Loving an addict to death.
Yes, the next one is another creator who is talking about the same, just basically another way of saying what we've been saying all morning. But again, she, as someone in recovery herself, she knows what she's talking about, and she has an interesting take on it as well.
Anyone who's ever loved an addict has probably heard the saying, you can love an addict to death. And I want to actually add on to that. You can love an addict to death, including your own. Because what happens in anybody who lives with an active addict gets sick. You can't not get sick. Because it is like living with a gravitational pull that forces everyone in the home to orbit around them. And then also a lot of the people in the home, I say this as somebody who this is me, go so far into that orbit that they are actually become addicted to the person or like the situation. Like codependency can be like chronic. It can be a chronic addiction. Everyone ends up being codependent with an addict on some level. But what happens is some people get so sick and twisted up trying to help someone they love not die that they themselves die or get really sick or endanger their entire community. And it's not on purpose, of course. And what we're dealing with now is the fallout of a family, but in particular, two parents who literally who seem to, based on what we know, have tried everything to help their son out of this hellhole. And you can love an addict to death. Their death, your death, someone else's death. Because an addict who does not want to quit will not quit. I say this as somebody who's been on both sides of addiction, someone who's dealt with it myself, my own addiction, and who has also been in, I've had loved ones with addiction. And I also see what it does to friends of mine who are married to addicts or who have parents or siblings who are addicts. I see on a regular basis the harm that addiction does. And I have an enormous amount of empathy for people with addictions. But I'm also telling you, if you self-sacrifice because you love this person so much and you do anything to save them from themselves, you might die. And unfortunately, in this case, in the most horrific way for your family, where your daughter finds you. And the intention was to never let any of this happen. Of course, this was love. I cannot stop thinking about this case. I can't stop reading about it. I even listened to that podcast that Nick, what's his face, was on. And that guy had no intentions of ever stopping. In fact, according to him, he seems to have never really gotten sober in terms of totally sober. The way this guy talked about, what he did to his family, the guest house when he was on meth, and how he just, smashed the TV, smashed it all up. Like this guy, when he's reflecting on some of, his worst moments, no consideration for what he truly put his family through, especially his parents. In fact, seemed to actively resent his parents. Seemed to be so resentful at his dad because he was jealous of his dad. And he hated being famous because of his dad, but didn't want to do the work to create a life outside of his dad. He literally, he's admitted that he only went to treatment so that he could basically check a box so his parents would let him move back home. He said that he would go to treatment sometimes so that to please his parents, basically, so that he could then go home and continue to smoke weed and do what he wanted to do. That's what he said. He never ever intended to stop smoking or, taking any, he didn't really want to be in the hard stuff, because the hard stuff has really awful consequences. And that's how he ended up homeless and stuff. But what he really wanted to do, it sounds like, based on his interviews, as if he could, he would just live in that guest house rent free and not have to work and just smoke, just get high and do whatever he wanted to do. And then you have this resentful, self-pitying, angry man and with an addiction. Watch out. Watch out. I mean, clearly, but I'm just saying, you probably know a man like this. Give them, don't let them in your home. Don't give them money. Do not. Because I am telling you, addicts lie. They lie and lie and lie because they need this thing. They don't know how to live without this thing, and they will do anything to get this thing. And even when they are, in recovery and they're sober for a while, hold your breath, man, because it takes time. Getting sober from whatever the addiction is the easy part. Staying sober is the hard part. That's where the rubber meets the road. That is where you have to learn how to deal with life on life's terms. You have to learn how to not run to this thing. And that's why a lot of addicts, if they don't actually use anymore, they go, climb Everest and do all this other stuff. So they're still running. They're just using a healthy addiction. And so they end up still being self-absorbed, pricks.
God is in shock right now.
Yeah, how you gonna let that one slip, Natasha? I
you-
apologize, Trinidad and Tobago. For those of you who missed it, I'm not going to repeat it. Thank God you didn't catch up. But that was an error in editing. But just no pressure come down a little bit here right now, because I did believe I just. Anyhow, she's correct. She's 100% spot on correct. We don't care. You can cry all you want. To please parents. You see that? Nagging a person into going to rehab is not a magic bullet. Because they will just say yes, so that once you may threaten to throw them out, or the job may threaten to fire them, or if they cut them out of the will or whatever, Okay, I'll go. But as she said, you always have to hold your breath. It is the recovery part is the difficult part. I was just explaining that. Recovering with them, because once you have an addict in your home and the addict is sick, you sick too as a family, It makes you sick as well. And you have to go through the whole recovery process with them. This is why trust and a balance of trust and belief comes in, because if I tell you I'm going to see about my ID card, but didn't you have help you do that? Or didn't we? No, we could do that. And I insist. No, I want to go and see about my ID card. I'm trying to get work and I don't have my ID card. And we will come up with all types of demands to leave home. That's a red flag. But we can be very manipulating, heartless people. I'm not making this up. It's true. I took my mother's expensive jewelry and pawned it and then sold it. I'm not the band that I sang with, Kali, and I was living in the band room and selling the equipment and not even worrying, well, one day they will find out. $76,000 later, I was arrested and charged for larceny. It happens. It's painful, but it happens. And for some families, that trust will never return.
Yeah.
For some families, especially some families that you took something valuable from,
And the addict will need to understand that is his or her fault.
Yeah.
That the trust has been broken. They have to live with that.
Yes.
And that is one of the hard truths that you come to realize when you're in recovery.
And it will
all
hurt.
of the harm that you've done to people, especially a family.
Yeah, and it will hurt to know that, so you don't trust me or what? Look, I went to rehab, and no, we don't trust you because you've done this before.
Yes.
You were here before, remember? You went to rehab and you came out, and before you know it, you were back on the drug again.
Correct.
So yes, we have to be concerned. So if you're not getting that type of cooperation, then sorry, let's go to the last clip quickly, antisocial behavior.
Yes, this one kind of strays on the mental health side of it, and this creator has identified Nick Reiner as having an antisocial personality. He has looked at the interviews that he's done, and he's dealing not just with the addiction, but the mental illness that he thinks he suffered from, which led him to do the thing that he did.
My thoughts on the murders of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner as a licensed therapist. My first actionable thought here on what we could learn is how people with antisocial traits behave and how we can better be in tune with our own intuition and behave accordingly. What I found often with people with antisocial traits is that they perceive that they're highly manipulative because they're grandiose, but really they just fall through the cracks because no one's going to think they're dealing with somebody who's sociopathic or psychopathic. Meaning the odds are so low, it's like basically less than 1%, that most people are going to assume other differential diagnoses and more innocuous rationales for why this person behaves the way they do. When I was watching Nick Reiner's interviews, it was somebody who appeared to be pretty disconnected and had difficulty socializing. So naturally we could assume differential diagnoses or differential qualities like something like autism. But the thing about autism is really more being asocial. It's having difficulty expressing oneself socially. It's not a rejection of all social ideas. But being antisocial is just that. You're the antithesis of the social boundaries and elements. So you actually oppose them, and you might have some level of contempt for them. And I saw this evident in Nick Reiner. He very much bragged about certain elements of, addiction. He really negated other people's struggles with it or refused to be empathetic towards somebody's death, for example, who's an addict, which is very self-absorbed and self-centered. He also kind of bragged about certain Machiavellian elements, I was tired of being homeless in Maine and I just want to get back to California. So I sobered up for a period of time intentionally to then get my way to California with what I want, and then I can do what I want, which again takes a lot of planning and manipulation, and also being very proud of that, being very glib and celebratory of that. Just kind of the more narcissistic qualities of not really being engaged or not giving other people what they want. This very glib surface level understanding of things. So I am not going into my own addiction. I just like doing it, basically. And really posturing and providing this character, this larger than life grandiosity of, yeah, I'm just this addict, and taking some sense of pride and diminishing other people who don't want to be addicts. So, yeah, I want to be an addict. That's what I want to do. I will say with Nick Reiner, there are some kind of more antisocial elements that are present. Obviously, there's no diagnosing somebody who you don't know. But it's just to say that there are antisocial things to be aware of and things to be really concerned about if you're around somebody for a long enough time. And again, someone who's asocial and doesn't really have an understanding of social interaction is usually not really a threat. But it's someone who has contempt for social interaction and social rules and consciously goes against it, and you notice that they don't really have any thoughts for other people. It really all starts with self. And there's also this underlying detachment from certain social rules that we have along with the contempt. For example, that host of this podcast he was on, not offering any sympathy for the co-host who had passed away due to drugs at all. In fact, doing the exact opposite and not realizing. Someone with antisocial traits thinks they're a lot more socially cunning than they are because they really don't have the ability to relate in that way. And I saw the same kind of things with Nick Reiner. It's just very little cognitive empathy, almost no affective empathy present, and then just this self-centeredness and narcissism. And then this posturing and grandiosity to different things that he did that were relatively antisocial. So the whole thing to learn from this is, number one, when you have a child and that child's an addict or whatever, I don't think you can put any blame on parents because there's no way they can handle it. There's absolutely nothing that they could possibly do. You let the kid go and they pass away, you feel an intense amount of guilt and shame. And if you enable the kid and placate, that's not helping them. Ultimately, it's them. It's up to them to change their life. But I actually don't think he did this because he's somebody with addiction. There's plenty of people who struggle with addiction. There's plenty of people who have to steal and do all these different things, but they don't slit somebody's throats. And also the other thing to mention is most people who have psychotic disorders aren't really violent. So usually that's not an explanation for most things. So usually it comes down to some level of personality pathology. And from what I'm seeing and what he feels like in terms of, intuitively, this job is very intuitive. There are some antisocial components there that you just kind of double take at. And it's about empowering people and helping them understand if it smells like a rat, if it looks like a rat, it's probably a rat. So protect yourselves. If you see someone who is very proud of doing the opposite that other people socially do, and they seem to disconnect from people and not be able to maintain relationships and are very self-centered, you might want to protect yourself.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays, at 10 a.m., and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And stream.
Right, so that analysis is trending towards the kind of psychosocial analysis of Nick Reiner's personality. And he mentions antisocial, that he thinks that Nick was antisocial. Antisocial personality disorder is a thing. It is a mental health condition in which a person who consistently shows no regard for right and wrong, who ignores the rights and feelings of others. People with antisocial personality disorder tend to purposely make others angry or upset and manipulate or treat others harshly or with cruel indifference. They lack remorse or do not regret their behavior. People with antisocial personality disorder often violate the law, becoming criminals. They may lie, behave violently or impulsively, and have problems with drug or alcohol use. They have difficulty consistently meeting responsibilities related to family, work, and school.
Yep.
So, if there is a psychological assessment, and we of course are not therapists, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists, but in addition to the fact that this man clearly had a substance use disorder, he may also have had a mental disorder which can be based on the interviews that he's done, the things that he has said about his family, the things that his father has said about them and their relationship. He may be an antisocial personality. And what this creates is helping us to understand cues and mannerisms and norms and rules that we all observe when we are around people. Antisocial people who are really have this antisocial personality disorder disregard all of those rules. They have no concept of right and wrong. They don't care how their actions affect people. They don't care about people's rights and feelings. And these people are among us. They're undiagnosed. There are a lot of people walking around here like that, exhibiting those kinds of traits, right? So it's up to us to recognize who these people are, and take note of people who you think are exhibiting these kinds of behaviors and get help for them.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Independency. Thank you very much, Natasha. We speaking with those who are hooked on gambling as well. It's not just the crack or the alcohol, because if you do your own research, you will see that crack cocaine use and gambling have the same symptoms. Mm-hmm. And right now, a husband or wife probably trying to figure out how to explain the salary is done already, or no salary as yet, or somebody they lose the wallet in a car coming home. You will get that. So you because the gambling is the same thing. Yep. If you're just joining us, we thank you. To our loyal ones on Facebook and YouTube, we thank you as well. You already kept us going this year. To Rosemary out there in Brooklyn, who never failed to join. Rosemary in Canada, Brooklyn, New York. Rosemary out in Brooklyn, New York too. Where is Pennsylvania? I saw there.
That's oh gosh.
So if we're going to take a break, and when we return, before we take your calls, we're going to show you again, if you're interested, pink cocaine, ecstasy, fentanyl, ketamine, you name it, and synthetic marijuana, what it looks like.
The son is in Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania. Hello to Pennsylvania this morning. Thank you very much for joining us. And I hope the snow is nice and white out there. And society. When we come back, we'll chat with you too about reaccepting or embracing. I have not seen that in my journey. And I have reached this age now wondering if that really exists, or you have to... Each person coming out of prison has a different story to tell. And how we are viewed to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Because I'm an experiment, I think that a lot of people failed. Maybe I'm doing this for others to follow me, I don't know. But honestly, I'm at a loss sometimes when I ask myself, what society really wants from people who went down the road. We have the information now, we have the practical experience, and yet we continue to have doors shut, no responses. What's our use in a society like ours? I would like to know. That's a serious question. I'm not making this up or anything. The experiment, Trinidad and Tobago failed. I'm one of them. Wayne Chance almost failed. What saved him was the fact that the foreign countries decided we don't want your nationals, we're sending them back home, and vision and mission became relevant immediately after that. But before that, he wasn't accepted. He was treated like a pariah. Him and I had many conversations. Now I am starting to experience what he experienced. I got an attack of psoriasis. Why? Because I continue to ask, what society really want? We try. Our families accept us and they give us the encouragement. But what about you, society? Are you ready to accept and forgive and assist? Let's go to a break. We take those, that short one, and then we take your calls afterwards. We'll be back.
My name is Ronald Lester, and my story is an altar story. There are things I cannot do.
to, like the other day I had a challenge when I go to the bank, they give me a form and they just give me the pen and the paper and it's like, all right, sir, and you know, and you know, if you don't know how to read and write and spell and thing, you will have trouble from the beginning. You know, you just feel that type of way, frightened, embarrassed, you know, scared. But right now the teachers are very wonderful, the volunteer teachers, the tutors are very wonderful, they help us. You could come to them anytime, you could call them and have a conversation with them and they will be willing to relate to you, which is one thing I love about the altar class. And the next thing I love about it, it's free. And I want to go and do a little computer course and thing after to learn to use computers and stuff because we're in the age of that right now, so you have to up your...
Don't eat.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please?
This is Miss Sheila.
Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, I called him to tell you I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna do?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be all right. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I-95.5 FM. Don't miss.
The Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service Hotline 800 PRSN. It's a toll-free number that anyone can call to report any misconduct or illegal activities within the prison service. All calls are strictly confidential and would remain anonymous. Simply dial 800 PRSN. That's 800-7776. Leave a message and our team of highly trained professionals will treat with your report in a timely manner, promoting security, integrity, public safety, and confidentiality. Do your part.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Thank you for staying with us. This is the last second hour of Ion Dependency. We've been talking about that major case in the United States of the murders of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle Singer by their son, Nick Reiner, who is a person who had a lot of struggles with his parents and his family with regard to his drug use, and this is the terrible end that his parents met. But we chose to use that story as an opportunity to discuss some of the ways in which families are affected by persons who are addicted to substances and how we can identify it and move through it without any bloodshed.
What's the difference, Natasha? What's the difference in Trinidad and Tobago is that when I used crack cocaine back then, strange enough, this may sound strange, but the pushers concentrated on quality and not quantity.
Mm.
So what you got was 95% of the drug and 5% of the chemical to make it up, right? To make up the crack cocaine and all of these things. But now it's the other way around. 95% chemical.
Mm-hmm.
So you find out people, and even the marijuana, which is supposed to be harmless, they actually having psychotic episodes from using these drugs. And right here in Trinidad and Tobago, we have examples of that. We just can't tell you who the people are and reveal that to the public. But there are parents admitting that their son, for the first time, getting aggressive with them. 18 years going out for to a party for the first time, come back home a different person. The drugs out here now. So let's go to it quickly, and then we take your calls after, right? Those of you interested, you can again for your education. So if you see it in your child's pants pocket or bag or shirt or whatever, at least you will have an idea of what you're looking at. And plus do your own research and educate yourself with the drugs that are available to our children. All the drugs we're showing you here now are available in Trinidad and Tobago right now. Let's go short, man.
Yeah, image F. So this is pink cocaine. You
Pink
may
cocaine.
have seen or heard of this. Pink cocaine.
And this is lab made in, folks. So
Pink cocaine is a powdered mixture of substances which is dyed pink, may have a sweet smell, it typically produces a mind-altering hallucinogenic effects. DEA laboratory testing has identified pink powders containing combinations such as ketamine and MDMA, methamphetamine, ketamine and MDMA, cocaine and fentanyl, fentanyl and xyloxine.
Hear that combination? You put that in a truck engine and stop it for sure. But people choose to consume this. No, listen, I mean, it's weird, but yes, it's available to our children here now. And I wish probably the Ministry of Health could give us an update on the fentanyl that disappeared. Even the police tell us what happened with that. Because if that end up on our street, folks, it's not going to be pretty.
Correct. And
right,
now we have the ecstasy, which also called MDMA, also called Molly. That's the street name. Ecstasy or MDMA acts as both a stimulant and a hallucinogen, producing an energizing effect, distortions in time and perception, and enhanced enjoyment of tactile experiences. Adolescents and young adults use it to reduce inhibitions and to promote euphoria, feelings of closeness, empathy, and sexuality. Known as a party drug, ecstasy comes in pill or powder form. The pill has a variety of logos and colors. That is usually how you will identify Molly. It's a brightly colored pill, looks like it could be candy. And there are parties, of course, in Trinidad and Tobago where they have bowls of pills and people just dip their hand in and take them, pop them.
Talk to your children. Let's go to the next slide. As I said, all we can do is warn you and show you is up to you.
The next one is fentanyl, and the way that it's represented here on the point of a pencil, that is the amount that can cause an overdose. That is how potent this drug is. Fentanyl is a potent synthetic opioid drug approved by the FDA for use as an analgesic, which is pain relief, and an anesthetic. It is approximately 100 times more potent than morphine and 50 times more potent than heroin as an analgesic. Overdose can cause stupor, changes in pupil size, clammy skin, cyanosis, coma, and respiratory failure leading to death. The presence of a triad of symptoms such as coma, pinpoint pupils, and respiratory depression strongly suggest opioid intoxication.
Ketamine now, let's go to ketamine. This is what the young lady told us, or said that she's hooked on right now and she wants to end.
Ketamine is a dissociative anesthetic that has some hallucinogenic effects. Ketamine distorts the perception of sight and sound and makes the user feel disconnected and not in control. It is referred to as a dissociative anesthetic hallucinogen because it makes patients feel detached from their pain and their environment. Ketamine can induce a state of sedation, feeling calm and relaxed, immobility, relief from pain, and amnesia, no memory of events while under the influence of the drug, and is abused for the dissociative sensations and hallucinogenic effects. Ketamine, because of the fact that it induces amnesia, has also been used to facilitate sexual assault.
Or date rape drug. Your children going out there, your daughters, they can fall victim to this, especially when they wake up the next day and can't remember. Let's go to methamphetamine. This is the one, that the young lady is hooked on right now and alongside money.
Methamphetamine is in Trinidad and Tobago. Crystal meth, aka meth, resembles glass fragments and is an illegally altered version of the prescription drug that is cooked with over-the-counter drugs in meth labs. It is highly addictive. It causes agitation, increased heart rate and blood pressure, increased respiration and body temperature, anxiety, paranoia. High doses can cause convulsions, cardiovascular collapse, stroke, or death.
Let's go to the other one. Imagine these are the drugs that we have to be worrying about now.
Psilocybin, aka mushrooms. I'm sure you may have heard of mushrooms. Psilocybin comes from certain types of the psilocybe mushrooms. Psilocybin is metabolized in the body to the active drug psilocin, also present in many of the same mushrooms. Psilocybin mushrooms are ingested orally. They may be brewed as a tea or added to other foods to mask their bitter flavor. The physical effects include nausea, vomiting, muscle weakness, and lack of coordination. The psychological consequences of psilocybin include hallucinations and an inability to discern fantasy from reality. Panic reactions and a psychotic-like episode may also occur, particularly if a user ingests a high dose.
Remember, people selling these things now, and they want their drugs to be the best one in town, right? The last one, synthetic marijuana.
Synthetic marijuana, aka Spice or K2, are just two of the many trade names or brands for synthetic designer drugs that are intended to mimic THC, tetrahydrocannabinol, which is the main psychoactive ingredient in marijuana. These designer synthetic drugs are from the synthetic cannabinoid class of drugs that are often marketed and sold under the guise of, quote, herbal incense or potpourri. These products are being abused for their psychoactive properties and are packaged without information as to their health and safety risks.
Let's take some calls. 622-3937. Folks, that's your line. Don't give us some music in the background. Christmas time. Anything else, folks? I just want to wish you all, from our side, season greetings. From our family. We say belated birthday greetings to Mr. Kelvin Ramnath and for Billy P and the boys for coming and checking me yesterday and celebrating his 77th birthday. So that's some good news. And then we have news of another person going into rehab. I just got that WhatsApp there. Okay. Thank you for that good news, my brother in South. Thank you. That's good news. Just keep us posted. All right, let's take our first call, 622-3937. Sorry. Hello, good morning.
Yeah,
good morning.
Beautiful. Morning. It's nice getting on as the first caller too. And I just want to take this opportunity in thanking you and your wife for relentlessly pursuing this vision that you have and really trying to help the less fortunate, the ones who have fallen to the crack in addiction. I salute you as a former member of the Defense Force who I had the privilege of serving with. I want to say to you and your wonderful wife, you are doing a wonderful job. And I just pray and hope on this national radio program, very interactive and very informative, that the powers of V recognize you all for your good work in really coming here every Sunday morning and preaching the word of the drugs and how it can hamper family and the harm and disrupt we see with that famous person in the United States, I think, where his son killed him. So I am just saying again, on behalf of my family, I want to wish you and your wife all the best, continuing good health and strength in carrying out this program every morning. Thank you very much. And we salute you, God. Old Solia.
Old Solia. Thank you very much, Old Solia. Thank you very much, Old One. Thank you. Good morning. You're on Independency 622-3937. Thank you very much.
Morning. Season's greetings to the St. Clairs.
Morning, sir.
And may God continue to bless you all, man. God, sketch how he is going.
Well, we haven't seen him in a while, so I am hoping that he is doing the right thing right now. We gave him the opportunity. As I told him, he has to do it on his own this time, rather than we take him by the hand all the time. So we applied some tough love, and most people did, and I think he should be in a better. But let's see. Let's just pray.
Because I say he's not on the corner. He's not on the street song there no more.
No.
Right. Because my boy, may the Holy Spirit bring him back home, the prodigal son. Sketches are talent, boy, you know.
Yes.
And the first man did my sketch to me in the barber shop and St. James and Candace Street there, boy. What a humble guy too.
Yes.
And he bring tears to Dominic Hardy the morning here, boy. Tears, he cry like a baby. You understand? Because sketches are talent, and I hope that we see where from there, you know. As I tell a couple of them when I see them in St. James, man will give up on you. But God never gives up on his children. So don't ever feel you can't stop. So if there's a lot of great examples like that, a lot of people in St. James I know, my brother best friends. They were on the substance as well. And they came home. So I just want to say to you all, continue, God. It's a genuine brother, you're doing the work. You know, from time and your support of your wife and the station and everybody. And may God bless you. And I know you're going to your soul here. Things going to continue working out. So I don't worry about that. You just had a holy straight, and that's how life is. Life is a struggle. Yeah, so I just say, continue the good work, continue doing what you did for me, and you did for everybody in Trinidad and Tobago, continue to do. You and your wife, and continue from going to, I'm trying to say, may God continue to bless you and bless I-95 and everybody. Thanks, man.
Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, you too, man. God, brother. That's up.
Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes, welcome. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Let me say the same to you, and let me start by saying I love my country.
Aye, that's
Mr.
what
Boris.
How are you? Put up Harvey volume there. Give me
Season's
some.
greetings to you, sir.
Put a little more inside. Let me hear Harvey properly. Hello, Harvey.
Yes, my brother.
Yes, my brother.
I just felt it was important to truly, personally acknowledge your work that you and Natasha, your wonderful wife, you're all doing for this country. I know how difficult it is, and I mean, I have never, I grew up a Seventh-day Adventist, so I never found myself involved in the line of drugs and things of that nature. So there's a part of me really can't fully grip how strong it is, but I know it is a powerful thing. Because through my Center for Justice that I have for 40 years helping people all over the country, and if I can give you just this quickly, I remember there's a guy in San Juan whom parents had given up on him. His mother would reach out to me and she said, try to give one last effort, and I went and I got him. He was in the San Juan market piping his drugs in San Juan market. I went there, I took him out, I got him cleaned up, I bought clothes for him, I took him down to a place that was, I think, down on Abercrombie Street. A popular guy had a place somewhere down in town there, and I think it's down Donald Street. I took him there for rehab, and then up to Mount St. Benedict, and he come out well, and he was doing well, and he put on size, he picked up a nice teacher girl as his girlfriend, and going good. And one day he passed by Sour Market, and one fella encouraged him to blah, 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 blah. And that one, and he returned back to zero. So I understand the power of this thing, and I'm telling you, of course we went and now he's back. He's all right now by the grace of God. But I'm saying I understand the power of this thing. So God and Natasha, you all don't stop. I hope the government and everybody else and private sector give you all the support you all need to really encourage, because if you can save one youth, one human being, one person, it is worth this program on the air. And I thank you all, and I wish you all the best for the Christmas and the best for the New Year by the grace of God. And stay strong. Stay strong.
Yes, Avi. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for your kind sentiments. Thanks a lot.
All the best.
All the best to you and your family too, right?
Yes, same to you. Thank you very much, my brother. God bless. I love my country.
I love my country. Thank you, brother. Take care. Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining. Some of the music, you hear it?
Yes, amigos.
I hear it. No, okay, now I didn't have my headphones. Sorry. Yes. Hello, morning.
Buenos días, amigos.
Buenos días.
Senorita Natasha.
Feliz Navidad.
Season greetings and a healthy, prosperous 2026. God, brethren, is not an easy road. It's not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. I salute you and your efforts in helping those who need help. But most of all, as we recognize them today, tough love. You be tough with them. You can't be soft because they are very manipulative. And it's only when they decide to stop this bad habit, then they will get help, right? So continue what you all are doing. God bless. Take them home. All the best in the future.
All right. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Yeah, man. Enough respect.
622-3937. And to Judy Joseph once again, we miss you. Thank you very much for being a part of Independency family.
All the blessings.
May your soul rest in peace.
According to the second and last caller a while ago, whatever influence you can have, even as one person, this one person, sometimes it will be aware the kind of influence one person have, because my life and a multiplying effect. So one person chance on one person turn around will influence another person and influence another person. So we go, yeah. And I think at this time, the weedy, citizens, and we need to recognize what role we play, as individuals. Probably the elder ones can recognize it more and, to encourage and to be there to share our knowledge and our experiences. Because for some reason now, the mentality, we have a kind of instant mentality now where like people, the younger ones not recognizing what it takes, like, to mold yourself, take your time, learn a trade, go to school. Everybody, this kind of instant society we have, we kind of have to like highlight that more a bit. I can remember our teacher told us that time, he said, you are the English teacher, he said, I fail English 6 times before if eventually I'm successful. And some of these stories need to be told more, so people realize, hey, we need to take our time, and life is not about instances, about toiling, taking your time, and being there and keeping at it. Don't give up. Have a blessed time, and you all the callers, listeners, and may God continue to give each and every one of us strength to encourage somebody somewhere. Bye.
All right, respect. Thanks a lot. 6223937, and we say good morning to all of you once again on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you very much. We will read some of your comments in a moment. Let's take another. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, efforts must not only be made to rehabilitate a drug addict. A greater effort should be made to deal with wherever the drugs is making and whoever is bringing the drugs. And then you will see a greater result.
I hear you. Good point. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Merry Christmas, all the best. From all of us.
That sound like Kathy?
Yes. Morning. How are you doing?
Yeah, good morning, Gat and Natasha.
Morning.
Wish you all the best for the new year. From the whole family.
Who is this? Sorry?
Desmond.
Oh, Kathy and yes, it's Kathy and Desmond. Who almost get banned from Hot Shop when we had the you talk about Roti, Kathy and Desmond when we had Hot Shop. But thank you all very much. And
Like always, man. Health and safety. Granty, I want to say, Granty Maxwell, Happy New Year, Christmas, everything, man.
all right, my brother.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Aunt Kathy.
You all invited.
What?
Then I'll lunch anything. We'll talk.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much, Kathy. Original, one of the originals from Independence since we started with us, Kathy and Zina and all the others who started with us from day one. Next year will be 25 years of Independence, folks. We have some real excitement for you, and we just, let me just leave it at that for now, but let's hope that God take us into the new year sailing smoothly. Hello, morning. 6223937. Hello.
Hello, we're hearing you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah. All right. Sorry about that. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, God and Natasha.
Morning.
Oh, God. God bless you both.
Thank
oh,
you.
Lord, God bless you both. Thank you for the great work you've been doing to help so many people.
Yes, sister.
I pray you all go from strength to strength and victory unto victory. A Merry Christmas and a bright and prosperous New Year to you both. God bless you and keep you always.
I appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, folks, it's Christmas, folks. We just say hello, Merry Christmas to you all. Sorry about that.
And also, you could tell us about what your favorite program this year was.
Yes.
What program touched you? What story touched you?
Yes.
Or moved you this year?
Yes. Tell us. As I said, my favorite was Caroline, the No-Teeth Queen, the No-Teeth Emancipation Queen. Natasha says it was Daniel.
Yes.
And of course, Anessa. Those are the top three for me for 2025.
Yeah.
Once we go back in the archive, but I've so far, I don't know who you all thought about or remember. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Gat and Natasha.
Morning.
This is Friend from South.
Friend from South, how are you doing? Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, Gat. Season's greetings. I know it's 25 years of listening to all, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank
God
you,
is awesome,
Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, God, for saving so many lives out here. You don't know how much people you touch. You remember when I now start calling, I told you all, I have 2 boys, twins, and a girl.
Yes.
And I used to put them to listen, and thank God they're on the right path. Thank you, God. Thank you. Thank you. God will bless you all. Your time will come. Don't worry. Just trust in God, and He will do the rest. I always listen, but sometimes I can't get in.
Right.
So I want to wish you all God's blessings. All God's blessings, and hope for the best.
Blessings.
2026.
Yes,
Thank you all again, and get home safe. Merry Christmas.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas to you too, all right? Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Welcome
Hey,
to
good
Independency. Morning.
Boy, always the best. I ain't lying to you. But you know what happened with me? And I know about all them things all they talking about, the act of addicts to get through to support the vice, you know? But the only thing, boy, they put me in a spot with one. All of us look online, all kind of thing. I can't find the naughty queen at all.
I think when she, I will, we'll post the link. We'll post the link.
I ain't lying to you, you know, God. This show is laugh and cry, you know. This thing all they keep in is laugh. Is a serious form of entertainment, what they're doing, you know. And they always call and tell you all they can make movies, you know. Remember that?
Oh, yes. And we
you
can.
Know your partner, you know your partner who is the mad people walking outside here.
That was in September, our interview with Caroline.
Boy, all you got, or they try to get into to this movie thing now, man. And see for they can better themselves too now. I beg you. Eh?
All right, brother. We're trying.
All
We're
right,
really trying.
all the best for you. All the best and all the best wishes. All
Yes.
this.
Thank you.
I mean, you know, as you said, movies. The last movie we did, Traffic, was done under this government. You know, now that I think about it, the last administration.
Last time they were in office.
The last time they were in office, this Traffic was born then, between 2010 and 2015, and in 2017, the U.S. State Department actually named the film Trafficked as one that they use the CTU, Counter Trafficking Unit, used to assist elevating Trinidad and Tobago. I know that's going to a lot of people's head, but I can't stop boasting about that. So I'm hoping that Ms. Processor's administration would see it fit for us. Maybe it's time for another film. Let's see. You know, hello. Good morning. Hello. 6223937. I'm seeing the person, but so this is your chance to call, and you want to read. In the meantime, read some of the greetings on Facebook from our people. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning. Season's greetings again.
Many happy return.
Thank you. I just want to say that you all are really doing a wonderful job. I look forward to listening to this every Sunday. And I have to agree with Natasha. The one, all the episodes are nice, but the one that stood out to me was really Daniel.
Daniel, yes.
Yes, thinking about it, it was really touching.
Yes.
You know, so continue for the rest of the season. Be safe, and we look forward to 2026.
We too.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, bye. And you know, it's again, folks, doing this program, it carries a lot of responsibility with us emotionally, especially. We take one more call and we'll read some of the comments, because we always neglect our Facebook people and YouTube leaving messages for us. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I have not been calling, but I have been listening. And I want to say that you all have been doing a wonderful job. I really appreciate it as a citizen of this country. I'm a retired teacher, and I really listen earnestly as long as I'm at home on a Sunday morning. And I want to wish you all the best for 2026. Continue to do the good work that you are doing. And God bless you and keep you. God May his face shine upon you and give us peace in 2026.
Wow.
Merry Christmas and a wonderful New Year.
Thank you, ma'am. Same to you and your family from us here as well. Thank you so much.
I'm calling from South.
From South, okay. What part of South?
Pleasantville.
Neighbor. All right, neighbor.
What is that? Your neighbor?
Yes.
Well, I grew up in Coquille. Remember, I grew up in Coquille village.
Right.
Between Pleasantville and Coquille, that was my stomping ground. I went to school, Pleasantville.
Ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
I have been here for 40 years.
Wow. Nice.
Yes.
Yeah, well.
Good to talk to you. I will continue to listen.
All right, sister.
God bless you all. God bless you all richly.
Thank you.
Continue the good work. God will bless you.
We receive that in the almighty name.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Facebook. Let's greetings to all of you. Pearl Maguire. Anne-Marie is Annette Maguire. In charge of the crew, and they'll be pulling up people for some time. And Pearl and our loyal followers,
Curtis.
Yes,
Gloria.
Curtis Cox, Gloria, Bess Mitchell.
Veronica.
Yes, thank you.
Eula.
Yes.
Alison.
Everybody, Merry Christmas to all of you, those of you who, Beverly's here too, right? Bev out there in Brooklyn. Well, I don't know part of the world, is probably in the UK right now. But yes, thank you all so much for your encouragement, your love. Noreen Ragunanan, thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gatti, and my little friend.
Hey.
Gatti, it's only I could call you Gatti. You make out the voice.
Miss Viscapi, is it?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Gatti, how are you going? But I listen every Sunday as usual. And I am, how I always wish you, both of you, well. Because I love both of you. And I want to wish you the best Christmas ever. And continued progress. Because this show, even though it makes me cry, I love to listen. Many times it makes me cry.
Right.
Like the lady who got blind. You had me crying for a long time with that. And I still think about her, and I still say a little word of prayer for her. I know, I just imagine how that must have been. And that really make me cry,
Yes, you went through a lot.
Really make me cry. But boy, I want to wish you the best of everything. Okay?
Thanks a lot.
And continue.
As long as the Lord allows.
With God's strength with you, because God dwells within you.
Yes, ma'am.
Both of you. Yes, all of us.
Yes.
People don't realize that God, that is his dwelling place,
Some people.
Yes.
No,
but
some people don't understand that.
All the very, very best, okay?
Okay, Ms. Giuseppe, thank you so much.
Okay.
God bless. Hello, good morning. I'm sorry about that. No, just this thing.
Quick fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. So folks, once again, Rosemary said Daniel. My favorite story was Daniel. He always on my mind. How is he doing? Also, Anissa, she was touching, but has the strength and confidence. Pity she got blind. Aziza Kabibi was shocking, but it's reality. Oh yes, Aziza's story as well.
Yeah.
Making, children for your father, being impregnated by your own father, that was mind-blowing to me too.
Yep.
But it's Christmas time, and we're coming to the end of another year, another trying year for some. Those of you who, like I said, just got out of recovery, understand that life is not going to be easy from here on in. You have to stay the course. If you're serious, that urge to take a drink or take a smoke and set yourself back is not going to work. To the servicemen and women of Trinidad and Tobago, once again, I implore you. I plead with you, respect that star that you have. Respect the colors. There are thousands of people who wish they were in your place right now. And the most you can do is serve us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Don't disappoint. Because remember, when you join the protective service, your family joins with you as well. Because they get affected by a lot of things that happen in there and to you. And every decision you make depends on your future in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen, this is not an easy road to walk. Being this and getting a dishonorable discharge from the force and having to start your life over. God and I had to have a conversation. Yes, Natasha, I ain't doing this again. I know. Well, you can tell me what all you want out there. Yes, you see this is very painful because it revealed a side of society. One thing drugs did for me is reveal a side of society that you all don't see. And I'm talking about the road to recovery. And the people that I encounter, that's the side of society that you all don't see. But I have to live with it. I have to face it. And living unsure of what the next day is, as a matter of fact, like I said to someone, since I started doing this, I've been surviving. I would like to start living. There's a big difference. I'm only sleeping but not resting. There's a big difference. And I am calling again on those in society who speak on recidivism and want people to come out of prison and do right. The people who want to come out of prison and do right, I ask that you look out for them, please. That is all I can ask. Be humane, be understanding. Once they're not playing the fool and playing games, if somebody comes out of prison like I did and want to help society, please open a door for them. Because that's one less you have to worry about. That's all I'm asking. I know it's been a difficult time convincing people in Trinidad and Tobago that. Natasha is my witness. And that is where a lot of society failing. And if we go into prison and doing prison release, pre-release program and preparing people to come out in society, I must be able to tell them with a straight face that society will help them. Sometimes I look at their eyes and I see that they know there's no hope for them, because of how they've been treated in the past. But I have to continue to give them hope and at the same time give me hope that before I die, this would have some meaning. And I would see a change in society's attitude and the people who can make things happen for us, make it happen. Once we show remorse. So you as a member of the protective service, if you get a dishonorable discharge, your journey back will be very difficult. But be people in place who can make it easy for us. Once we are remorseful, why not help rather than try to hurt more? Natasha, you're closing it. We could take a final set of calls if you want. 6223957. Natasha, sorry, I just had to get that off.
No. I know there are things that will come to light in due course. I don't want to say too much on it now.
Yeah.
Although, it's right on the tip of my tongue, literally. But
let me take a call for that.
I'll hold it.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning to both of you.
Yes, morning, ma'am.
God, I always admire your topic when you come out on a Sunday morning. To be honest, you're sending out a message and also teaching people how to continue, the life. And I want to thank you. And that young lady next to you there, I want to thank you also, God.
Thank you, ma'am.
What's about people who outside I want to go in, boy? What do you think about that?
Well, if once they want to go in and their families can afford it, sure. Why not? Let them go. Once a person say, look, I'm ready to go rehab, please get them there tomorrow. Because, that they've realized they're powerless, they've lost control, and Sometimes it takes somebody to lose every cent and lose everything before they come to that realization, but it can happen.
Gert, I want to thank you. Because you continue to send out message, not only for Trinidad and Tobago, worldwide.
Yes.
You hear me?
Yes.
Because everybody listen to I-95.5, right? On behalf of me and my family and the young lady next to you, I want to send out to you all Merry Christmas and, continue to do the best for Trinidad and Tobago and be safe out there. Be safe out there because, we own shadow that's fighting us, right? You got to be safe out there. And you all have a good one and you all reach home safe, okay?
Yes, thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Right, yes, 622-3937. And again, folks, be careful. I still trying to get over the fact that I dodged a bullet in that car park the other day with somebody who disabled the alarm in Natasha's vehicle. As I came out trying to lock it, it wouldn't respond at all.
Yes.
Only to know that somebody disabled the mechanism. I swear.
Oh, boy.
It happens so quickly, but thank God I was focused because they're doing it, folks, especially in those crowded car parks now. People losing their minds and rushing last minute. Keep your wits about you. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, God. But we know each other from Cesando Panyard when you used to be hanging around there.
Right, yes. The answer.
Okay,
yes.
Then. Listen, I started smoking ganja when ganja was $6 an ounce. And I started to take eggs, lily, and all them kind of things. I live in St. Thomas. I started to snort. I learned to snort cocaine up there. I done that. When I came back to Trinidad in '69, didn't have that here. But in the '80s, here a friend of mine who was working Whitehall. Now I work in a telephone company between some Puerto Rican and thing. I speak Spanish, so. They're snorting the cocaine, they're going down Bazzi and get the thing. I come back up in the Panyard, a certain friend of mine who used to work Whitehall, asking me to take my thing and turn it into rock. I said, I never did come and see it. So you put out the party, put the dollar. Now, my ex pointed to me, went in my pocket, find 250 straw in my pocket and pointed to my daughter. She had a baby at the time. She said, "Die where you want for your daughter." I quit. Then I continue smoking cigarettes. And the Panyard, one of them boy in the yard just buy a 10p. And argued with me for my last cigarette. That was a Saturday. The Monday morning I go back in the Panyard. Hey, Vanessa, give me a cigarette. Give me a light in there. I said, I don't smoke.
Hello?
Good morning to Gata and Natasha.
Sorry.
I am taking this splendid opportunity to wish you and Natasha the best for the coming year. And I thank you for the education from you that you have disseminated to us. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. That was my fault. Yeah.
Sorry. Oh, Lord, you cut off the man. Sorry about that, sir.
Yes, folks, my brother, I'm sorry. That was my fault. When you're long off, what happens? But that's it, folks. You all have to just be aware. Keep your head on. My brother from QF, sorry about that. That was my fault that you got cut off. But this is the most that we can do for you. I said again, we started this program because of my experience with hard drugs, and I did not want your child, whether your friend or enemy, to experience what myself and my family experienced. Losing that military career was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to deal with in my life. And I am reaching out to you young soldiers and young police officers. Look at the examples of the people who you should follow. The ones who went through their career gracefully and retired gracefully. That's where you retire with a nice handshake and you can take care of your family even after serving your country. I am one who lost that. And I'm not going to let that happen in vain. This is why I decided to do this. And then Natasha agreed with me, and here we are, 24 going on 25 years. When we started this, we didn't have a gray hair. You just see us now. Only gray.
I didn't have a gray hair. Well, you had no haircut.
Right.
I didn't have no gray hair.
But
I actually had lots of hair on my head.
yeah, Natasha had a ras actually. And
So-
now, we've
Pressure.
reached to this point here. And like I said, on my journey, we've tested society, and in many ways, society has a lot to do with the failure and the recidivism that we're experiencing today. Only if something can be put into place so that people like me wouldn't grieve and stress out and just treat us as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. All right, we made bad decisions, we made wrong choices, but we are not bad people. And if you can help turn our life around, why not do it? Rather than try to destroy, because when you try to destroy my life, I have a family to go back home to, misdirected anger, I could end up destroying my family. So think about it this Sunday, in the spirit of giving, and if we can reach your hearts here this morning, we appreciate you accepting it. Natasha? I know.
I don't know what to say.
Why?
Because what I want to say, I can't say. So better
I
I
know.
don't say anything. I think that's better. I just would like to wish everybody, happy holidays to the extent that you can celebrate. Please do. Don't overdo it. Don't pressure yourself to do more, to spend more than you have. It's not worth it. Just the important thing is to have your family and your loved ones around,
Yes.
and everybody in good health, and
And to the directors of the counter trafficking unit, and of course the Ministry of Homeland Security and Government of Trinidad and Tobago. We wish you all Merry Christmas and a bright and, when we get to the bright and prosperous New Year next week, please God.
Yes.
Right? But Merry Christmas to you, Storm and Tom. Thank you very much for spending the time with us this morning. Those of you who called, those of you who wrote, and those of you who listened. We wish you all a very Merry Christmas to my family, Gilos out there in Canada, and to Natasha's family.
Yes, all my family in Trinidad and in the States and in the UK, in Venezuela. Merry Christmas. Feliz Navidad to you as well.
Yes, and to all you addicts out there who's suffering, remember your family needs you. Your family is depending on you. Don't disappoint them. As we come to the end of today's program, we want to acknowledge that the conversations are heavy, especially at this time of year. What we've shared today
What we share today reminds us that addiction doesn't exist in isolation. It affects families, communities, and sometimes ends in irreversible loss.
denial, fear, misplaced love, silence, these are all part of the story. And so is the reality of new psychoactive substances that are already here, already being used and already causing harm.
Thank you so much for spending part of your Sunday with us. Have an enjoyable Christmas and Boxing Day holiday.
This has been our Independency. Stay safe, stay aware, and keep the conversation going. Respect to all of you, Trinidad and Tobago. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Good
Up there
afternoon.
could be Roger Lee and Roger is coming and Dominic, but stay tuned for more programming.
Good
Take care.
afternoon.